All right, guys, so things are warming up. You know, the first vlog we did, caught them on a Jackall Rerange, a jerkbait. You know, it was kind of colder, first thing in the morning. The water temp had dropped because we had some cold fronts and some rain and things like that. Now, they kind of got off the jerkbait. So make sure and check out that vlog. Caught a real nice one, caught a couple other nice fish. So that was a lot of fun. But like I said, it's kind of slicked off, the sun's out. The water temp's already risen almost 3 degrees already. And we're only a few hours into the day. So I started seeing some cruising around, caught a couple little ones on bed so far, so I had to get out the arsenal. So I'm gonna just kind of blind fish with a Jackall Neko Flick, you know, right here, a little 4.8 and a 5.8, just kind of blind casting. If I see a light spot, casting at that. I got my drop shot rigged up. I got one on a spinning, and I got my power shot, a little heavier line. Got my chunk craws ready. Got some Daiwas and some heavy action ritual angling rods rigged up with even some braid. And then luckily I remember to bring both my bedfish boxes. I mean, kind of tell I'm kind of a freak. I got all kinds of little secret tricks. I don't know if we're going to show you any of those tricks, but we're going to get after it, you know, and it's important. One of the things I like to do, especially when I'm looking for beds or sight fishing, is keep the sun at my back. You never want to go into the sun just because it's got a glare on the water, and you're gonna have a hard time seeing. Where if the sun's at your back, you can see much further out ahead of you. So we're gonna keep the sun at our back, fish some of these pockets, and I'm gonna try to look a little deeper. A lot of these bucks are shallow, and I think they've gotten fished for quite a bit. So I'm gonna look out a little deeper and try to find a magnum. So let's get after it. There, I did an intro, and I look over the side of the boat, and there's one like biting at my freaking trolling motor. This is not what you want to do. You don't want to be 2 feet away from your bed. We gotta go look for some big ones. All right, well, what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of cruising around. I've seen several, you know, 1.5 pound, 2 pound little bucks. I mean, that'd be fun to catch or whatever, but I'm really looking for a great big one. You know, that's kind of the thing this time of year. You can kind of pick and choose, you know, and some of them are ready to bite right away. Some of them are, you know, just moving back up now that the sun's out and the water temp's getting warmer. But one big thing, you know, like you can tell I got my hood on, I got my Reaper on still. I'm just about ready to peel that off. Is the darker you can make your face around your sunglasses, the better you're going to be able to see in the water. I got amphibious sunglasses. I have several different lenses. Right now I'm wearing the amber lens. But, you know, too many times I see people or, you know, talk to other anglers and they're like, yeah, man, I really didn't see that many fish. Well, you know, the one thing I can tell you about that is the odds of, you know, at different times, I shouldn't say never, but you increase your odds by looking for a piece of the fish. Like, you know, a good indicator is they have a black tail, the little, you know, 1 to 2 to 3 inch long little black tip on their tail, or their lateral line, or, you know, some fish have spots on them. So rather than, you know, trying to go, oh, there's a fish, and you see the whole fish, train your eyes to pick up on anything that's irregular in the water. Right now I'm in like 8 foot of water. I'm looking out deep because I figure that a lot of the ones that are shallow have gotten kind of seen and fished for and all that. So I'm trying to look out deeper, and a lot of times you'll see a bed like way out ahead of you, and that's why I'm throwing like this little Neko Flick, you know, and casting out the light spots, or, you know, if there's a stick or anything different. Like right here, this flat used to have a ton of bushes on it. But I think, you know, with the drought, it obviously grew up, and then these have rotted away. And so it's mainly all sand and like mud out here. So it's not really that good. It's been a couple of years since I fished here. But I'm really trying to just look for a piece of the fish. And like I said, that tail is a really, really, really good indicator. Like, you know, you see something black, even if it's that little, and then all of a sudden, once your eyes adjust, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's a big one, you know. And so that's one key thing I could tell you. And I don't think this is the right area right now, because in some pockets just across the way, we've seen a lot more bass. Even seen some nice crappie on beds. And over here I've seen 3 or 4, but nothing really worth, you know, getting excited. But there's one right there on the Neko Flick. See, but just by, you know, casting out ahead, sometimes you can get, I mean, I've caught some giant ones doing this, and also you catch, you know, catch some smaller size fish. It's just fun to get bit though. But it's a good way to just cover water. You can see that fish right there is a male. It's probably a female that's swimming somewhere around here. But again, I was casting, I seen, you know, because the sun's on my back, I seen these sticks right here, and I made a cast and caught this little guy. But they'll get bigger, I promise you. Just a bunch of little ones I threw up by those reeds. I mean, these are all, every one of them is males, which is good to see. They're still fun to catch, but I mean, it's a 2-pounder. It's a nice one. I mean, I'm just blind casting. I'm looking for those great big ones. It's another male, nice chunky fish. Let that one go. One thing I tell you is I'm really super impressed. So this is a little, a new hook, just came out, I think, at iCast. It's a Craw Pro V Finesse hook, and it's got 2 little weed guards on it, and it fits in your soft stick worm perfect. I mean, and you know, the Craw is obviously sharp, but it's got the right bend too, and that Pro V kind of holds that bait right there, right in the bend, and it doesn't slide up your shank or towards the tip, so it fits in there nice. And once you hook them, I mean, you can see I haven't lost or missed one fish yet. It gets them good. So that's just little number 1. If I was throwing a bigger bait, you know, they make 1/0 and all that stuff. So pretty stoked on that though. It's really the, you know, first time I've kind of sampled some prototypes, but these are the final production ones, and I like them. Another little male. Just throwing that little Chiara frog, you know, in this calm water like that, you know, a top water bait like a little popper or frog. I got a gavacho on, I got a little Chiara. Sometimes you'll, you know, that's just a little buck, but sometimes great big ones will come up out of there and you can see them rise up on it. And then, you know, you mark them and come back, and you can sometimes catch those fish. But that one right there, I mean, I kind of knew it was going to bite just by the attitude of it. You know, when I was talking earlier about every fish is different, you know, that fish right there, I mean, it came up on the frog and I seen his mouth flaring like I'm ready to kill something. So I made a little pitch in there with the drop shot, and first cast, so now we just need to find some big ones. There's some giants in this lake. It's just a matter of getting, you know, I think the longer the day goes on, the better it's going to get, I think. Another one on the little Neko Flick. Again, just another little male. Little male. Sooner or later, we're going to run into a big one through my worm. So, pretty little fish, but not what we're looking for. All right, so small one so far on the little Neko Flick, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So this right here is a little Neko Flick by Jackall. It's a 5.8, and if you notice, it's got a little fatter head on it. I'm simply taking a little tiny nail weight, just a little cheap nail weight, and I'm putting it right there in the head, and I'm wacky rigging it. But here's the deal. Here's the original Jackall Flick Shake, which is a great bait, obviously. You know, they make a little Flick Shake head, and if I was, to be honest with you, if I was fishing around more smallmouth, spotted bass, I mean, largemouth eat it, but this thing excels during the spring, the Flick Shake worm, around those smallmouth with that little, with the little Flick Shake head, you know, a little 1/8 ounce or what have you. but you can tell the difference right there. One's fat, so you can put that nail weight in the head of it. They both got a nice scent on there. This here is a cola color, and the one I've been catching them on is a Prism gill. So kind of a real natural, you can kind of see it's real transparent, got a little purple flake in there, watermelon, kind of pumpkin color. And I'll take my little Trocar Pro V hook, very simple rig, kind of rig it right above the egg sac right there, and then I take those little weed guards. Now I can throw it in and around bushes. But I mean, not to downplay the flick shake, I feel like that's, you know, that's the deal for the application I'm fishing today. So you just got to catch bigger ones, man. I know there's big ones in here. Just throwing out ahead of the boat. I think it's another little one. Just throwing out ahead of the boat, you know, I mean, just still in search of that great big one. This is a decent fish here. Caught several on the Neko Flick and picked up a little drop shot deal. They seem to like it, but I mean, pretty fish. It's still not the size of what we're after, but it's a nice one. Hook perfect. Trocar got him. Gotta dig him out of there. Oh, you can see right here, catch and release, man. There's a hook mark right there already. So catch and release, that's awesome. That's a nice fish, but we're in search of big ones. I gotta put this one back, but you know, I mean, this is a lot of fun. We're gonna keep after it, try to find one of those Santa Margarita giants. So haven't given up yet. Stay tuned. It's gonna get interesting. Oh, there's another one on the drop shot. This is turning insane, man. I mean, they're just another decent little fish, but you know what's cool about this is I've been kind of going back and forth between the little Jackall Neko worm, you know, with the little nail weight in it, and then I noticed that, you know, some of these fish I've been seeing are sitting on top of these little bushes and these little stobs out here. So I rigged up a little drop shot, you know, really good springtime bait. And both these rigs I'm throwing them on a 7'1" medium action ritual angling spinning rod. You know, the reason I like the medium action this time of year is because I'm throwing a little bit heavier line than, say, if I was drop shotting out in, you know, 20, 30 feet in real clear water. I would be throwing the light action, medium light action ritual angling rod. But that way, you know, when I hook one, I can get them away from these little stobs and stuff, and I have more control over the fish. Still sensitive enough to detect those bites. Both setups, I'm throwing the Daiwa LT Tatula spinning reel. Super good drag. I mean, you know, there's no snag or no hesitation in the drag. And the way I'm rigging this this drop shot rig is really simple. I got a 1/0 Finesse straight shank trocar hook, a little 6-inch straight tail robo worm, and then a 3/16 ounce Eco Pro tungsten full contact drop shot weight. The reason I like that tungsten is because when I'm throwing it, first of all, I mean, it's smaller than lead, obviously, but when I'm throwing it, I can really feel the difference between if it's on mud or if I hit a rock or some shells. So I'm really, like, when I get around some piece of structure, I'll actually sit there and shake it longer than if I am just fishing mud or what have you. On both setups, I have 10-pound SX1 Sunline braid, and then I have a FG knot to a leader. On my Neko rig, I'm throwing 8-pound FC sniper, and on my little drop shot here, I'm kind of risking it here. I got 7-pound FC Sunline sniper. So, I mean, the water's clear. It's kind of scary, especially I know the size of these fish in this lake, but we're not going to end this vlog until I do catch a big one. I promise you, man. I'm not going out like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. That was wild, man. I came through that tule patch right there, and I seen this great big one swim off the tules, and I noticed some white shells out in front. Turned back, made a big circle, turned back around, and pitched this little drop shot in there. And look what we got. I mean, that's a nice fish, you know. I mean, so I'm pretty sure that fish was on the bed, but where I seen it was actually sitting up in the reeds. And nothing to get hung in, so just take your time. It's only got a little tiny trocar hook, little number 1/0. And I mean, this I'm smoking the drag on the Daiwa, of course. Oh, that's a nice one there. Finally, we got a good fish here at Margarita, you know. This place has got giants. I mean, I've seen some today that are huge fish, but that's a nice fish right there. Hook perfect, looks like it. So the key, you know, I mean, one of the things is, I see it all the time, you know, people get in a real big hurry trying to get these big fish in the boat. I'm throwing 8-pound FC sniper, and you know, with a FG knot to 10-pound braid, and you just got to take your time, let your drag do the work, and look what you get. Look how pretty that fish is. All right, man, I want you to see something. Look at that little trocar hook. I barely got her kind of skin hooked right there, but super sharp. Just pulled right out. That's what I'm saying. It's important to fight those fish nice and gentle. I'm gonna let this one go. Finally got a good one. You know, and that's part of it. This time of year, these big ones, you know, you're gonna catch males and you're searching for those big females. There's fish bigger than that in this lake, I promise you. It's been a fun day, man. I mean, a little bit of finesse in, had some nice fish come up on a frog. You know, I'm seeing lots of fish, catching lots of fish. So can't complain about that, man. If you guys enjoyed this week's vlog, make sure and like, share, tag a friend. Check back next week and see what's new at Tackle Warehouse.